here is the one and only Miss Universe 2019, Zozibini Tunzi from South Africa.
I want to start off by thanking you, first and foremost, for having me on this Zoom. And once again, so sad that I can't be there in person because I was supposed to be there initially. But I think having this opportunity right now to sit here with the girls and have this chat, I think it's an incredible one. So thank you so much for that. Secondly, I want to congratulate all of you so much for making it up until this far, because I know, we go through such a lot preparing. You have to be there mentally, physically, emotionally, and it takes a lot to be there. And so you guys should be proud of yourselves for where you are sitting. I know that I am incredibly proud of all of you. I know that whoever, wins at the end of this is going to be so deserving. And I feel like it doesn't matter who it is amongst you. It's just going to be beautiful, because that's what, the Philippines is known for: your beauty, your intelligence, and all of those nice things. And so I want you to know that this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and not only just to the person who's going to win, but to all of you guys. So as you journey through there, I want you to continue finding yourselves, finding what it is that makes you who you are. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Zosie. I'm such a fan. Oh my God, you broke the status quo. You broke the typical beauty queen mold. And I actually don't have a question. I just really want to thank you for doing that. You are amazing. You inspire us so much. You inspire me so much. And I never had this much confidence before with a short hair to join a pageant. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Billy. And you look absolutely incredible. I love that you said you got that confidence, because beauty comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And I feel like it should be celebrated that way. And so I'm happy that you were able to tap into yourself and find that confidence for yourself. And I hope that everyone else did too,
Is my connection all right?
You're good.
Hi, Zosie. It's really nice to see you and get to speak with you tonight. And I just really want to see how you're doing, and how was it like being a queen in this time of a pandemic?
It's been challenging. I think this time has been challenging for all of us, really. I think nobody expected this to happen. Nobody saw it coming. And so we kind of all had to quickly adjust to what's happening. But I quickly found my feet. We're so blessed to be living in an age where we can go virtual, where we can go digital. And so I think we were quick to grab that opportunity to say, listen, just because there's a pandemic, it doesn't mean the dream has stopped. Sometimes it's been a blessing in disguise, because I wouldn't have had an opportunity to meet as many people as I did, go to as many places as I went to virtually. And so, yeah, challenging, but it was a good change.
Hi, Josie. It's so nice to finally meet you and see you in person. No, virtually in person. And I just wanted to ask you, especially during this times of the pandemic, do you still have a lot of time for your personal life and for your family, considering that you're so far away from them?
I have made time for myself. I don't know if people know, but I was recently home, I think about 2 weeks back, for the first time in 7 months. So it was so incredible to be able to, see my family and to be around the people that I love. But once again, I do make time even when I'm here in New York. Like I said, it's virtual times, it's digital times. It's so important to keep relationships open. It doesn't matter, how busy we are as a people, our professional lives. They should be aligned to our personal lives, because in order for us to thrive, you have to be somebody who's able to have that human contact and that human side to yourself. So yeah, keeping those relationships for me is very important, as important as it is with my work.
During the pandemic, everyone focused on negative thoughts, fake news, so unreliable sources and negative ideas. So my question to you would be, what is one positive intake that the pandemic gave you?
The one incredible thing that I took from this pandemic and this time is that, the world is not as selfish as we thought it was. Before this time, I'd always thought humanity, humility was something that we don't have anymore as a people, something that we don't have anymore as a human race. But when the pandemic hit, we saw so many people come together. We saw so many people holding hands, people helping out their neighbors with food, people helping out the elderly, people donating, to places that they want to donate to. And it was such a beautiful thing for me to see, especially during this time and age, because that's something we don't get to see anymore. People are so conceited, people are so, everything that they do is for themselves. And so it was so refreshing to see that selflessness, and to see that we still have a little bit of humanity left in us.
I don't know what to say right now. I'm just so happy seeing you, seeing all the girls together. It's so nice. It's one of a lifetime opportunity for me. And my question is, how do you manage stress?
How do I deal with stress? For me, I think that's like one of the most challenging things, because number one, I am a perfectionist and I really like want things to go the way that I want them to go and to be perfect all the time. And so it's so difficult sometimes to let go of that. And, you can't have that mentality as a human being of always striving for perfection the whole time, because you will be disappointed, because we do make mistakes as human beings. And so in order to avoid stress, I try to remind myself as much as I can that I am human. These things happen to people, that I'm not subject to them. And so that's how I keep myself grounded. I'm human, and that's just how I get over things. I try to keep myself grounded. I try to forgive myself as much as I can, because that is very challenging. I don't know if you guys experience this, but it's so hard to forgive ourselves, for mistakes that we make and for things that we do. And we try to always be there for everyone, and those things just cause so much stress. And so I remind myself that I'm human every time. I'm like, you know what, Zozi, you're human. You can't have control over everything. And so just try to calm down.
I'm so thrilled really to get wisdom from you and to pick your brains during this conversation. So my question is in a very, very serious tone. So I'm an active supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. So with all these things happening, the recurring racism in the US and around the world, how do you feel about this?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for your allyship. I feel like we need so many allies when it comes to so many social issues. And so I want to thank you so much for that. It's a difficult one. That in 2020, we're still living in a world where I have to be judged according to, my skin color and the way that I look. I am in full support of the Black Lives Matter movement, first of all, let me say that. And I was so happy to see it happen this year and to see so many people join, in the march and putting their voices out there, because we do need to lend our voices to people when they need it the most. I think it's so important for us to speak about systemic racism, because it's something that has been existing in the world for so many years, and it seems like it's something that's just not ending. And so for young people like yourselves to lend those voices and to educate people who need to be educated about it, I think it's so incredible. One of the things that I loved to see the most was young people joining in the fight, young people out there in the streets, young people posting on their social media, because the first step towards social change is through awareness. And so if as a young person you can teach a group of people sitting next to you about tolerance, about race, about every social ill in the world, I think it's amazing. If you can do that with your parents, if you can do that at your workplace, and if you can do that at school, I think the world would be so much of a better place. The world is as messed up as it is because we turn a blind eye when we see things going wrong. The world is where it is because when we feel like something has nothing to do with us, we walk away and we don't try to help. And so that's the one thing that I loved about the Black Lives Matter movement this year, is that there was so many allies, so many people who were not directly affected by this, but lended us their voices to try and help in this fight. So thank you so much for that question. Thank you, all of you, for your allyship to everyone who lended their voice.
any tips for us to keep the fuel going, because you know how hard it is, and we've been on fire at least since January. So I really would love some advice. I think all of us would appreciate it.
I think my biggest advice would be, well done for holding on until this far, first of all, because January is a very long time. And you guys are contestants in a time that is very different to any of us have ever done. And so I want to take my hat off to you. I don't know how I would have able to deal with a pandemic and competing at the same time. So kudos to you guys on that. Mind your own lane. That's what I always tell people. Mind your own lane. I mean, looking at this screen, I see so many beautiful women who are so intelligent, who have so much to say. And so if you keep looking left, right, center, up and down, you will be distracted so much. So that would be my biggest advice. I think one of the things that threw me off sometimes when I was still a Miss South Africa contestant and even a Miss Universe contestant was you would see so many prediction pages. People would ask you about this and that. And all of those things are so distracting and they have nothing to do with you. You know your story, you know yourself, you know why you are there. I like to give an example of a racetrack. Have you guys seen a racetrack with the horses and they always have those blinder things in their eyes? The purpose of those blinding things is so that the horse can look forward to its destination, to where it's going, and so that it cannot be distracted by the outside noises and by the other horses. And so that's what I want you guys to do. You need to have those blinders, like those horses, to just be in tune with who you are, and so that your message can shine very brightly. And also, you're there because you're already incredible at being who you are and what you do. So stay true to yourself. Kat is amazing. Pia is amazing. Gazini is amazing. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, Miss Universe Philippines is not looking for those people because they already had those people. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're looking for you, your unique you, a true reflection of who you are. So that would be my second advice, you know, is to let that shine. Don't try to be those people because they already did an incredible job by being themselves, and nobody can do a better job at being you more than yourself.
Hi, Zozi. I'm Bella. Oh my goodness. Can I first say that this is a dream meeting you because I really think you're such a remarkable person. Not just, of course, not just as Miss Universe, but oh my goodness, just talking to you now, hearing you speak, you're so genuine and, you know, you're definitely a phenomenal woman. So it's such an honor to meet you, like a lot of us have been saying. So thank you so much for your time. And although my question was, you know, because watching you in Miss Universe, I know I loved how you were so confident and calm, mostly calm, you know, and to imagine just being on an international stage in Miss Universe, you know, I'm sure that's like nerve-wracking, especially because you're up against a lot of other women and there's a huge audience and all of that. So, I mean, I'm assuming it's probably the same as what you just said about staying in our lanes, but I just wanted to put it out there.
I want you guys to know that I had an incredible time. That's what you were saying on stage. You were seeing somebody who was enjoying herself. Because here's the thing, by the time you get to Miss Universe, or by the time you get to compete, you know, even for your pageant right now, is you've already done everything that you can. You've already given yourself, and if it's meant for you, it's for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody can take away anything that's meant for you. And so that's why I was so calm on stage that day. It's because I knew that I said everything I needed to say in that closed interview. I was who I was the whole time, and there was nothing new I could bring except to just have fun on that stage. What I always tell people is imagine the stage as the final cherry on top of the cake that you've been baking. It's now perfect. All you have to do is to just go and celebrate. It's a celebratory moment. And so that's why I was having so much fun and seemed so calm. Not to say that I wasn't nervous. Oh my God, that would be a lie. I think all of us were. You would be crazy not to be nervous before you go on stage. But I think it's just remembering to have fun, to know that there's 60 other women on the stage. What else can I do except to have fun? So remember to have fun, Bella.
And I just want to say that from the moment I heard you sing Brown Skin Girl, I already knew that you were really into it. You're there to win it. So, and also South Africa is also one of my bucket lists to go to. And so my question would be, as a Miss Universe that you are right now, you've accomplished a lot. What's the next thing you want to take off your bucket list?
There's so many people who think when you get to Miss Universe, that's like end all be all, is everything you're done. And I always tell people that it's just the beginning, you know. It's incredible women who have just barely scratched the surface. You know, this is the platform for them to become even greater, for them to even evolve into so many more things. I've developed such a love and interest for you know, doing interviews, chatting with people. And so in the future, I'm hoping to, I don't know, maybe get into broadcasting, television, media.
Wow.
I think that's like the next thing that I want to slay right now. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for my future. I love to speak. I love engaging people, and I'm hoping that that is something that I will be doing for the rest of my life, you know, using my voice for the betterment of not only myself and my community, but, you know, the whole world. I always tell people we all come into this world with a purpose. We were born with purpose. And so I can't wait to, you know, fulfill all those purposes and just being my true, genuine self, using my voice and just doing well.
I would really have to agree with what Bella mentioned earlier, how you were really confident walking on that runway of Miss Universe Philippines. But I'm just really curious to know, do you have any like backstage rituals or anything that you do before you go on stage, like anything to condition yourself?
I think a lot of people know by now that I love music. So that's like my coping mechanism for almost everything. So I think I just had my earphones on the whole time, just like listening to music, dancing and singing. That's what got me into, you know, that vibe of getting into stage. One of the other things is I try to avoid big groups, you know, before going onto stage, because there's so many energies happening. You know, someone's excited, someone's nervous, someone wants to laugh, someone wants to cry, and it becomes so overwhelming before going onto stage. So, you know, I would advise for you to just, you know, ground yourself, find yourself, be in your own space if that's who you are. But, you know, a lot of people thrive through energy. They want that kind of energy from other people. So I think it's different for most of us. But for me, it was always about centering myself and being alone before going in on stage and just listening to music to hype myself up.
I just want to ask, what are the best things and the worst things about being a Miss Universe?
I think the best thing is just being able to connect with so many people on so many different levels, getting to learn about them, who they are, getting to learn about, you know, different cultures. I love culture, I love tradition, I love heritage. And so one of the things that I've been blessed with is to actually meet people from all different walks of life, because I feel like that's how we learn as human beings, is being exposed to different people, being exposed to different things. And so that's the most wonderful thing about being a Miss Universe, is that people allow you into their spaces, people allow you into their lives, into their stories. And I think that's, you know, absolutely magnificent. The most difficult part is, well, for most people like myself, before you become a public figure, you were just just a person walking in the streets, going to school, going to work. Nobody cared what you were doing. Nobody cared what you were saying. And now all of a sudden you get this, you know, spotlight, and everyone wants to know who you are. They want to know what you're doing. They are sort of going through your life with a fine comb, like combing through your life, looking through everything. And so I think at first that can be a little overwhelming, that you can't just, you know, go buy bread in peace, you know, things like that. Overwhelming at first, but then it's things that you grow to appreciate. Or maybe because I genuinely have a love for people, I've come to appreciate even those little things that were difficult sometimes. But yeah, to whoever wins, there's going to be days when you are going to be tired, you know, when you just want to go home and cover yourself up and sleep, but you can't, because you have to take one more photo. You have to have one more conversation. You have to smile with one more person. You know, you have to bring it out of yourself, even though you're feeling tired sometimes. So things like that could be challenging. But I have a firm belief that all of you are here because you're passionate about what you do, because you love doing this. And so because you are in love with your job, it's going to be very easy to get through those days.
I just want to say that my friends and I are such a big fan. We really believe that you really transform pageantry just by being there and using your voice and sharing your story. I love how you empower children and women. I was wondering, due to the pandemic,
there is a rising case of domestic violence against women and children. But this violence has been existing even before. So how do you think can we break the cycle of violence?
It's such a heavy one and a difficult one for me, especially coming from South Africa, which has one of the highest numbers of gender-based violence, of femicide. Women going missing, dying every day, young girls, young boys, children, and it's the most excruciating thing to watch happen in the world. And I think the biggest thing that we can do is to have a conversation as a people and not to give it up to women and have only women speak about it. I always say this, whenever we speak about gender-based violence, abuse towards children and women, people think it's a woman problem, and it's not. It's a humanity issue. And so that's why we all have to arrive together and speak about this and educate each other. And so I think really men need to do a huge, huge part in analyzing who they are, in analyzing who they have around themselves, and trying to impart some kind of education on their peers. If you're not an abuser, you probably have an uncle who is, you have a friend who is, your brother probably is, or your father. What conversations are you having with those people? I think it starts there with the smallest things. If you're a mother or a father to a young boy, are you teaching them consent at a young age? What are you doing? We need to start molding young minds at their youngest so that they grow up, to be this great men that we're looking for in society, today. Also teach girls about confidence, impart confidence in themselves. Because sometimes people are stuck in these situations because they're not confident to speak out or to leave. But I never want to victim blame, ever. It's never up to a woman, because you have women who speak out, you have women who leave relationships, but they still, they still get killed, they still get beaten up. And so I just really want to throw this conversation to the men to make sure that they are engaged, and that we stop victim blaming and throwing women under the bus.
That was a very difficult question.
Yes, it was, Caroline. Look at you.
But we learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
You mentioned a while ago about a job and how this crown is also a job and a responsibility and a duty. What was your reign like, and how were you able to really fulfill all the duties as a Miss Universe this past year?
I think, well, everyone knows by now how different my reign has been in comparison to everyone else, purely just because of being in one place and not being able to move. But I think I have accomplished to some extent the things that I wanted to accomplish. For me, when I have a woman in my DMs saying, thank you so much for imparting this and this confidence in myself, thank you for making my daughter feel this way about herself. Thank you for using your voice all the time to speak about matters that are important in the world. Whether it's with the Black community or with the LGBTQI community or with the women community. And those people reaching out to me is all that matters to me. What I've always said is, if I am able to change even one life or touch even one life, for me, that will be enough. And so to have been able to do this for so many people has been so incredible for me. And it's been such an honor and an incredible year to be able to have conversations like this, because I cannot count how many Zoom interviews I've had or how many conversations. It's been so many, and all of them have been so fulfilling to me in so many ways. Not only to be able to land my voice into the world, but to hear what other people have to say and to hear their opinions about the world has been absolutely incredible. So I really am proud of what I was able to achieve along with the Miss Universe organization this year.
I actually have two questions. So the first question is, what was the most negative thought or comment that you had to conquer, and how did you conquer it? And the second is, did you sense that you were going to win?
I don't know if I could ever pick one, because once you're in this platform, people will always find something horrible to say or to try to bring you down. So I don't think there's a particular one that I could pick up, but I think the most hurtful ones could be, you know, racist comments are, you know, those will never be nice to hear. And unfortunately, it's something that I've had to deal with the whole year. You know, there's people who are still not accepting of where I am and who I am. And that's unfortunately, you know, the world today. So, but it's for me to be able to get over those things is to have a true understanding of myself. Once you know yourself fully, nobody else can tell you who you are. You know who you are, and you know that there's a reason for you to be where you are. And so I think that's like one of the things that got me through it, is reminding myself why I started. And I think this is something that's very important for you guys to remember all the time. Whenever things go bad, whenever people say horrible things about you, whenever you have a long day and you're tired, remember why you started. Why are you here? What brought you into this pageant? What do you want to accomplish? And it exceeds pageantry. It's just a part of your life. What's your life's purpose? Did I know that I was going to win? Girl, there were like 90 amazing women on that stage. Are you serious? You never know. You know, there's so many incredible women who are beautiful in their own right, in their own different ways, who are intelligent, who have different messages. So you never truly know. But I will be honest, I think when I hit top 3, I kind of felt the confidence, and I kind of knew in a way, like deep down inside, I was like, you know what, I can feel this. So when I did my first top 3 answer on leadership, I think that was when for me, I really felt like this could be it for me. So yeah.
How do you handle the haters, the trolls, the social media bashes? You know, these girls probably will encounter. How did you encounter and handle those peoples?
I think we already touched a bit on some of that through the conversations that we've been having, because that is something, Esther's right, you will, without a doubt, you can ask Pia, you can ask Kat, you can ask Iris, Demi, ask anyone. They will tell you that the trolls are, and I'm sure it's already started with you now. You know, people have already started compiling their favorites, top 5, top 3, and they start bashing, because here's the thing, people like to project what they feel about themselves on us, and it has absolutely nothing to do with us. And so it takes me back to remembering why you started. Why are you there? You have a message, and that message is perfectly suited for some people. There are people who want to hear it. There are people whose lives will be changed because of your pure existence. And so that's why it's so important to remember that 2 or 3 or 5 trolls have nothing to do with you. People in the world are hurt, and there's so many horrible things happening. And like I said, they will project it onto you. When people see someone leaving their dreams, when people see someone being brave and chasing what they want to chase with all their heart, if they're scared of doing those things themselves, they will hate the people who are doing it. And so take it as a compliment, you know, that person just wishes they were you, and that's that.
This is truly an exciting moment for me. I feel kilig. Kilig is like an excitement, romantic excitement term from our language. Anyways, my question would be, right now, when we become Miss Universe candidates, we strive to become leaders with or without a crown. And what do you think is the best qualities of a leader that we could practice even after this pageant?
I think what makes a great leader for me, number one, someone who's able to follow as well. It's very important sometimes to lead from behind, to listen to what people have to say. Be a good listener, because you can't lead and always be speaking if you're not taking from what, you know, other people are saying. The second trait that I would say is an important one for a leader is respect for everyone you meet, everyone around yourself, because it's always important to remember that you are not the most important person in the room. Don't think of yourself that way ever, because the minute you think you're the most important person in the room, you're not willing to open up yourself to learning and to respecting other people. And so I think, you know, a good leader is a good follower who listens and respects people. And so I think those are my biggest traits of an incredible leader.
Oh my goodness, Unjani sa Lubona and Lobukasi and Nauyonke. Oh my goodness, my
wow, Marcus, that is incredible. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just gonna try not to cry because I used to live in Zambia, which is nearby South Africa, for 2 years as a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer, and my first experience of recognizing my privilege of being born with this type of hair was when my host sister was doing my hair, and I was telling her, "Oh, your hair is so beautiful," and she looked at me and told my hair and said, "No, yours is the beautiful hair." And I sent her your picture when you won, when I told her, "Do you know who Miss Universe is this year?" To know that you won with your natural hair, to declare that her hair is beautiful. They're very close to my heart. They're my host family, and serving with them, and it just, I can speak volumes to how your win has just made so many positive impacts. And I would just like to ask you, what is one impactful story that you can share with us on how your win positively impacted someone else's life and how they see their personal beauty?
Oh my God, I didn't plan to come on here and cry today, so I didn't bring any tissues. So how dare you? But
it is such an honor to meet you.
Thank you so much. That was so incredibly beautiful. By the way, your hair is beautiful. Everything about you is, and that's the message that we're trying to send out. Your hair is beautiful. My hair is beautiful. My body shape, my skin, and so is yours. You know, there's a Eurocentric beauty. It's beautiful. There's an Asian beauty. It's beautiful. There's an African beauty. It's beautiful. And that's just really what we're trying to send across. And so whenever I speak about my kind of beauty, I don't ever want people to think that I'm saying, let's forget about any other type of beauty and focus on mine, because that is absolutely ridiculous. We're such a diverse people, and we should be celebrated for that. And so thank you so much for coming on here and reminding us about how important that is. After I won, we were shooting something at one of the stations. It was very new, so I'm not familiar which one it was, but we were catching a train with the digital team, and this woman walked up to me and she just started crying. This is me 2 weeks or a week into being Miss Universe. I'm new in New York. I don't know what's happening. And this woman is crying. And so I stop and try to have a conversation with her, and she takes out her phone and she starts showing me photos of, you know, her daughter watching me win. And in this video, there's obviously all of us standing there. And so her mom is asking, who do you think is gonna win, right? And then the young girl, you know, as black as she is, with my kind of skin and my kind of hair, you know, starts pointing at everyone else, you know, except me. And then the mom asks, why do you feel like everyone else is gonna win? And she says, because they look pretty like dolls. They're beautiful, you know, with their light skin and their beautiful hair. And then you could hear the hurt and pain in her mom's voice when she heard that, because, you know, this is a young black girl who doesn't see a reflection of herself, who doesn't think she's beautiful. And then I win. And the look on this girl's face when I won, it was disbelief, first of all, because she was like, wait, really? And then, you know, she started, you could see the confidence building in herself, and she couldn't understand, but it started making sense to her that she too could be beautiful, that too could be her. And so I think that's like been the most fulfilling thing for me in this journey, to have stories like that, to land in South Africa and to walk out into the airport and seeing young, beautiful girls wearing their crowns, being so accepting of who they are. And that's what I want people to see when they look at me. When I say, see your face reflected in mine, you don't even have to be a black woman or a black girl. You just have to be somebody who's different in life, whose beauty maybe might not have been accepted, whose personality or character might have not been accepted. So you could be Asian, you could be white, you could be anything, and still see your face reflected in mine by being just this different person that you are.
Thank
So
you.
we have learned a lot from our reigning Miss Universe, of course, like don't mind the bashers, have your own space. We have our own paths to take. Once this is over, I hope that all of you will be able to still call your, each other a sister, and congratulate who the winner is. Congratulate each other. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you girls learn a lot from the one and only Zozibini Tunzi.
Oh, Jonas, thank you so much. This was so incredible. I'm so happy to have been able to come here, share my story, and to hear your guys' stories and your voices. And it's going to be a tough one, Jonas, because all of them, all of them, are incredible, beautiful, smart, and they have so much to offer. So I feel so bad for whoever the judge is going to be.
True.
It's going to be a tough one.
Now I hope after this you will have an elephant, in your chest that's taken out, that now you can go and just feel that you're in a competition, you want to do something, you want to make a difference, and just be in your own lane. Yeah, be in your own lane.
Absolutely.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Zozie.
Thank you, Zozie.
So much, Zozie.
Ya, Manak. Salamat.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Zozie.
Salamat.
Thank you, Miss
Bye.
Esther. We love
Thank
you,
you,
Miss
Esther.
Zozie.
Thank you so much.